Hi everyone, it's Sunday, May 14th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. It was a busy week for some in the U.S. hide market, but that doesn't mean that prices were any better. Overall, prices were soft during the week, and really a good deal of purchasing was customers stocking up, not necessarily because they had more leather orders. Looking at heavy Texas steers, prices were again unchanged. Selections averaging 62-64 pounds were steady with the previous week at $22. In the automotive sector, this was the third week in a row that buyers sat out the market. And last but not least, the cow sector is still seeing some pressure as demand is just not where it needs to be. Combined export sales for the week ending April 27th were up 21% from the previous week, totaling 655,200. This higher number actually comes from the week before that, because these days more and more business is being pushed to the weekend after the reporting deadline for the USDA. Combined shipments were up by 7%, totaling 486,200. Estimated slaughter for the week ending May 13th was 646,000. That's up 7%, and it's actually higher than anyone expected. For the year to date, slaughter is down 3.1%. Looking at Europe, editor Andrea Guolo tells us that prices are aligning with those outside the EU, and while slaughter may be low, there are plenty of hides with defects. In the UK and Ireland, prices for the 36-plus kilo British ox are at 82 to 83 cents per kilo, and in Ireland, the price has slipped to 90 to 95 cents per kilo in euros. Sellers who can't get their price are actually opting to wait when they can. For European bulls, prices are trending downward. Northern German bull prices are down to €1 per kilo for the 40-plus kilo selections, but then the price of southern hides remains pretty steady. And with regard to European cows, they too are on a downward trend, and the poor outlook for furniture isn't helping. And for veal skins, nothing has changed. In his analysis this week, Andrea looks at what's happening with this downward trend and also what's happening with orders in the tanneries, as well as some of the hopes for the summer months. From South America, editor Ronald Guial reports that raw material prices dropped another 5 cents this week. Fresh hides averaged $1.29 per kilo, and actually TR1 prices followed suit this week and dropped by 2 cents to settle at 68 cents per square foot. Other Latin origins were still stable, but tanneries in some countries are not working anywhere near capacity. In other news from Brazil, the country's April hide and skin exports totaled $96.7 million, and that's a drop of 6.9% from the previous month and 12.7% from the same month last year. The data comes from the Ministry of Industry, Foreign Trade and Services, and it was analyzed by the CICB. As for the total in square meters, in April, 13.7 million were exported, but that's down by almost 3% from March, but up by 16.5% compared to the same month last year. For the first 4 months of the year, the total was down by 15% compared to the same period in 2022, but it was 8% higher in terms of area. Also in Brazil, April beef exports were down 25% in volume, and footwear production was 2% higher in the first quarter, but then footwear exports through April were lower in pairs and higher in value. From elsewhere in Latin America, the largest refrigerator in southeastern Colombia will be in Chupacu. In Mexico, Anpic racked up sales of more than 104 million pesos at the most recent edition, and in Paraguay, the April slaughter was up by 26%. That is all we have for this week, and until next week, good night from HideNet.